Are you interested in real estate investing but not quite sure where to get started? Do you want to get the know-hows on creating ongoing passive income using the buy and hold strategy? Hi, I'm Janice Bowles, licensed realtor and co-founder of B Premier Ventures, a real estate development and consulting firm where we buy and beautify distressed real estate, renovate it, and resell for profit. With over 15 years of investing experience, B Premier has extensive knowledge in rural land development, fix and flips, and rental acquisitions. B Premier's current portfolio consists of properties within Florida and Virginia. Our firm's services includes investor project consulting, project management, and group coaching. For more information, visit our website at bpremierventures.com and schedule a complimentary discovery session or subscribe to our email list. It's free. Follow me on Instagram at Janice Bowles for additional real estate investing tips. B Premier Ventures, we buy and beautify.
Hey everybody, welcome to today's episode of Let's Do It Talk Show. It's your girl, Ladrine Howard Peterson, the CEO and founder of Do It, delivering on ideas and thoughts. And what I do in a nutshell is I help to turn dreamers into doers, and I do it from two aspects. I do it from the aspect of career development, resume writing, interview preparation. You having issues on your job that you need to talk to, or you looking to change your career. I'm your girl. And from the business aspect, if you're looking for a marketing strategy or you don't know where to start, you have some ideas and thoughts and you want to turn them into a business, hey, I'm your girl. Here at the Let's Do It Talk Show, we offer a platform for entrepreneurs. However, we think that it's and feel that it's more than just business. So what we do is we talk about faith, we talk about finances, we talk about future legacy building, and we talk about family and relationships. So today is our Money Making Monday. So we're talking about finances. The title of today's episode is, first of all, in the month. So we're doing Women's History Month, right? So all of the sayings and all of the titles have been about women. So today's episode is Women and Money. So we're going to be talking about women in credit, women in wealth, and then various ways of finding funding for your business. So you know what I do and you know how I start off. I like to share with you and talk about my weekend. This weekend was really exciting. So it started off with Friday. I went and got my hair done, but all throughout last week, one of the things, it was at work. Everything that me and my staff engaged in was just like amazing. I have high expectations for my staff, but when I tell you that they super exceeded them, it was great. And then next, I had the pleasure of being the cover girl for Women on the Verge magazine. It was a pleasant surprise. During my lunch break, I received a nice congratulatory text from Jennifer Jones. And she told me to go and look at Facebook. I looked at Facebook and I was surprised. So it's the inaugural issue. So congratulations to Tamika Chapman. Tamika just started her magazine. So I knew that they interviewed me. I thought I was going to have a quarter page or a half a page perhaps, but I ended up with a 4-page spread and the cover girl of the inaugural issue and named the Trailblazer. So that was like really, really exciting for me, and I was super surprised. Then Copper Canyon Grill. So this is just for y'all. Little playing with y'all. Y'all always have something to say when a certain somebody shows up on my feed. But what I was posting about were the bread. The bread was the bread. The bread is delicious there. So that's a whole nother story. Then comes Black Girls Rock. So I was invited. Someone treated me to Black Girls Rock Fest at the Kennedy Center. It was amazing. Lauryn Hill's voice is like, she never skipped a beat. She was amazing. And the young lady, Alicia Smith, you all probably know her. I don't listen to the radio that much, but she was amazing as well. And I got to meet Roland Martin. So that was a fantastic weekend. Kennedy Center is a very nice look. So the last thing that I had to share with you all, so I posted it on my feed today, and I'm gonna show you the video in just one moment. But with the whole virus and everything that's going on, and people, when they're in large settings, they have a concern, a health concern, which is the right thing to do. So my pastor, he walked through the different ways that we were going to respond to it, and he actually, it was a very informative message, but he did it in a playful way. But when I tell y'all that this video went viral, so I'm on the social media team, and when I saw it, I was like, give me that. So I played around with it, and when I posted, so I started watching it because I got all the information as people would tag and sharing and everything. When I tell y'all, it's over 20,000 views so far. So between Facebook and Instagram, I woke up this morning because I had it set for my notification. It was like 5,000 notifications. So I ended up putting it on my page. And the reason why I didn't really want to do so much on my page yesterday, because it was baptism, it was baby dedication, and my pastor delivered a powerful sermon. So I didn't want it to overtake it. But y'all, it's hilarious. So take a look at this video.
What's the plan? Watch your hand. Watch your hand. Come on. Come on. What's the plan? Watch your hand. Watch it. Watch your hand.
Basically, that's what we've been going through. But like, in all honesty, it is going viral. And I had never had a video that's gone viral, but because I get all the insights and all the information, it's bananas watching it. So Baller Alert, Moret Brown Clock, and some other people, like, their Instagram numbers are higher than our church's Instagram numbers. But it's amazing in terms of watching it going viral. So I have like a part 2, but I got kind of sensitive with it because I didn't want it to overtake baptismal, and I didn't want it to overtake some of the other things that were going on. But it's very exciting, so I can't wait to see how the numbers actually end up going.
Yeah,
so
that's gonna be quick. It's
it was so it was like every minute somebody was sharing it or somebody was liking it. I was spending my lunch hour today amazed, like, is this real? And it's amazing how one person sends something and then you see it for the next person. We have no idea what goes on behind the scenes because we don't have access to the insights. The insights give you a whole spread of all of the different information from the social media and everything. I was amazed and dancing because I listened to it so many times. But you can't help but to dancing. So they need to turn that into a song before somebody else pick it up. All right, so let's make this happen.
Trademark.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move into introductions. So who do we have here?
So hi, I'm Sacagawea Fanning. I am an independent financial consultant, also CEO of Fanning Financial Group, LLC.
Yes.
And I love educating people on financial literacy, savings, budget, retirement. You saw what happened with the stock market. We will be talking about that tonight. So please stay tuned, be engaged, and we're going to be having fun like we usually do every Money Monday.
Money
Making Mondays. Money Making Mondays. Hello, everyone. My name is Janice Bowles. I am a licensed realtor with CTI Real Estate, and I'm also a real estate investor. I have an investment company called B Premier Ventures, where we buy and beautify distressed properties renovate and flip for profit. So I am here to continue our Money Making Mondays with education on creating generational wealth within real estate investing. So happy to be here.
So the first thing that we're going to talk about is 5 myths. So 5 myths with women and their money. So it was a lot of them on the internet, but I really narrowed it down to 5.
Okay.
And I went from 2 sources. So one of the sources was Motley Fool.
Okay.
And their information was point blank, understandable, and I agree with most of them. And then the second one was Muse, M-U-S-E. But shall we just dive into it?
Yes,
Yeah,
let's do
go
it.
ahead.
So the first one, women aren't as good in investing as men.
Who said that?
Yeah.
So it was a myth, and
Yeah.
of course it ended up turning out to be wrong.
Correct.
And one of the things that it talked about was how aggressive men are, and how they want to be the one that be gusto and win everything. So from their standpoint, they are overly driven in terms of risk taking. Whereas women, they're more careful and particular and specific about what they're doing.
More strategic.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, sometimes we can be reserved in terms of being risky, because we're paying attention to the things that are around us. So,
Correct.
yeah.
And usually
We definitely put a lot of thought.
Yeah, and usually in charge of the household. So we want to make
Yes.
sure that boat is still floating.
That's right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It is not a chance where it's all of nothing.
Correct.
Where your husband may be like, let's put all this into
Let's
it.
look at a
And you
Lamborghini.
like,
Did we
No.
just
But
have that
if you don't-
conversation?
Yes, we did.
oh, okay. Well, there you go. So we know that is a myth.
Yes, yeah.
And then the second one, women are bigger spenders than men. And so let me tie it into the third one because they both go together. The third one is women can't save because we're buying too many lattes or shoes. So that was cute.
That's biased.
That was
It
cute.
is.
That's
It very
biased.
is.
We
So
can do both.
the findings of it were that single men
Uh-huh.
off the chain in terms of their spending.
Correct.
On their outfit, on alcohol, and on going out, and they far supersede what women spend. So they did talk about in terms of women and shoes. Like we love shoes, we love
Correct.
a good pair of shoes.
Correct.
But it talked about single men. Now married men, it showed that women may spend more than men, and it may be because of the dynamics, especially because of the older days where the women didn't work. So normally what they would get, it wasn't like for a business standpoint, it would be shopping or either their
Correct.
husband flourished them with gifts.
Yeah, but I want to throw something with that myth about the shoes and everything. Excuse me, and the lattes. Now, nowadays, because you have reality TV, that
Yes.
skews the perception.
Yes.
of
Yeah,
us.
that's true.
So we
That's
really
true.
got to, like,
Yeah.
when you're getting out with keeping up with the Kardashian, not everyone lives like
Right.
that.
right.
So
right.
let's make sure it's more realistic and
Yeah.
like what's on TV does not trump reality.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that point, but I also think that what's on reality shows, some everyday people try to live up to that.
Yeah,
so
emulate.
if they start with lattes or like this whole thing, I don't even drink Starbucks coffee, but I know like the price of it is more expensive. I'm a Dunkin' Donuts or a McDonald's girl, or either a Keurig machine in my house.
Yeah.
But the whole thing in terms of what you see and what you emulate, like I know, like at once upon a time, everybody was going to get red bottoms because it was being portrayed on TV.
Yeah, that was the
For
thing.
me, it hurt my
And
little
music.
toes, so it wasn't even like an issue of wanting to have
No, your
them.
heel is
So,
too high. I never could walk in them.
Thank you. I'm like gonna break my ankles. No, thank you.
yeah. And I was surprised that it didn't have bags in it.
Exactly.
Because a lot of women spend a lot of money on bags, but to each his own. No judgment.
true.
No judgment. But them single men.
Yes.
Now, did they give an age with regards to the age range for the single men, just out of curiosity?
They did not. They were like single men
All
overall.
across.
Because it went from also like sports cars or
Okay.
their cars
Right.
and various things that they do
Right.
that they will put investment in a
And
larger
splurge into.
Yeah.
amount. Mhm.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
And then the fourth myth, married women don't have to worry as much about financial health. That's not true.
Absolutely false.
That is so.
And there are a lot of women who manage the budget for their household.
Correct.
There are a lot of women who are the breadwinners or make the most money within their household.
That's right.
Correct.
And there are a lot of women that are very much more responsible than their husbands. I'm not saying in all cases, but yeah. So
Right.
among my friends, so I started like going down a list and started figuring out my friends, and I was like, no, pretty much
Yeah.
the women.
Correct. Yeah, because women are realizing like you're in a marriage, you still need to have your thing too, because what if it doesn't work out?
That's right.
You know, so
You
a
gotta-
lot of, I think like back in the older days, you know, it was, you know, women are taking care of the household, but then something happens, especially in the military culture.
Right.
It's like
Right.
people are married
Right.
in the military, they're
Yep.
married for 20, 30 years. You know, retirement happens, and then divorce sometimes happens with that too.
Correct.
And the wife was the stay-at-home mom.
Yes.
Like, set yourself up, sister, because
Right.
you never know what may happen.
Exactly.
Listen, my mom always said, have the Janice Miller account.
Come through.
I got the Janice Miller account.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
enough
just
said.
saying.
Yep. I sure got a Ladrine Howard. mine is the Peterson. Like, I had it before that verse.
Roles have changed. I mean,
Yes.
definitely the roles have changed. I don't think, you know, just like the information indicated, women, you know, they're not just at home and leaving everything up to the spouse.
Correct.
Right.
Everything. I mean, you got to have some say so. You got to sit down and have conversations.
Yes.
And,
Right.
you know, have your voice heard with
Yep.
regards to what's going on. Even
Right.
if there is maybe perhaps a, you know, one income household, you still need to have your voice.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's very much present.
Yeah. And then the last one, number 5, women need more help managing their money than a man.
Totally disagree.
Being in the financial
Yes.
services industry,
Being an expert of this arena.
Give it
No.
to him. Give it to him.
a lot of times it's really it's the wife who is speaking up and is taking charge of the conversations when I'm having a conversation, asking the question, delving into the details. When I'm like, sounds good. Wait a minute, what about this? What about this? What about this? So no, I wouldn't agree with that. From personal experience and professional experience, the wife is more
Yes.
talkative and sometimes she's more reserved because she's taking in the information.
Right.
So he's chiming in, but she's being more selective of listening and seeing what's going on, and then coming out with some very logical, intelligent questions of what
Right.
about this? What do we do for this? What do we do for this?
Right.
Because we usually do this and this, and then he'll sit there like, yeah, she pretty much runs the budget.
We're the planners.
Yeah,
Let's
Yeah,
face
exactly.
it. We're
Exactly.
more so inclined to be the planners.
Yep,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. So we're going to go into the next topic, but I want to shift it a little bit. So our slides, the way that I had it is that we were going to do credit first, but because you started talking, so pre starting the show, we started talking about the
did.
market, the stock market. So why don't we go ahead and switch? I know my numbers, and I'm normally like all pressed to have them go like that, but for the sake of how the conversation is flowing, we're going to jump to your topic,
Okay.
which is women and wealth. So we're going to go to that topic. So talk to us.
So really, I wanted people to understand what's going on. A lot of people were nervous, they're uneasy of what happened today. And that comes from a valid place,
Right.
because today was historic.
Yes.
Because Dow Jones is basically AKA the stock market. This was the worst ever in the history of the Dow Jones, the worst loss. And also, it was the worst between the S&P 500, which is your top 500 companies
Right.
in America, how they're judged in, performance based, and the Dow Jones, which is like 30 companies of the most like blue chip companies like your
Right.
Microsoft, Disney, Mobile. This was one of the worst days since 2008, the last financial crisis.
Wow.
So it's just people need to be aware of how to have diversification. Some people see it as you have two sides to the coin and to
Right.
the story. You have the people who are like, oh, it's go low. This is the time to buy up some stock out there. Other people who are rightfully fearful are the people who are looking to retire, because the housing market, the rates are great.
That's right.
Buying stock, it's great. But for the people who are looking to retire in 1 to 5 years, this going down, Fed rate cuts, It's not good for
Right.
your
Yeah.
retirement
It's more
account
for them, yeah.
So we want, like, this is Women in Wealth. So I want women to feel empowered, especially because you have alternatives. You don't have to just take it and just ride it out.
Right.
There are ways, if you're looking to retire soon, like I said, 1 to 5 years, there are ways out there to protect your nest egg where you can still have diversification, play in the market a little bit, but let's also be conservative
Right.
and be realistic of, like, I've worked 30, 40 years.
Absolutely.
I'm not looking to try to do another 10 to 15
Exactly.
to recover.
That's right.
Because some people from 2008, they really didn't recover, and we're in 2020.
Right.
So those people might be going through it again, and they may be having, some really bad nightmares of
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, this is
Absolutely.
the repeat that I just went through."
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I
So-
can't
levels,
take it.
yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking about that like earlier before
Yeah.
because all on the internet, various financial gurus were saying, don't move your money, don't do this. Man, let me tell y'all, about 2.5 weeks ago, I was like, I would rather risk not taking the profit
And
that
the
will come
gain.
along in the short period of time than to take that big dip.
Right.
So when the Dow Jones was falling this morning, I was like,
I know.
like, you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like
yeah.
it impacts all of us, but
Correct.
not the way that it would have.
Correct.
Right.
And the thing
Right.
about it, I wish the gurus would be more specific when it comes to the age category.
Yes.
If you're 20, 30, 40, you
You
have
have
time.
time.
Yeah.
You
Right.
have time
That's
to
right.
rebound and
That's
do
right.
everything. So it shouldn't be.
Right.
If you're in your 50s, 60s,
Or if you
you're
48.
well, yeah. Yes, and you're looking to like, hey, because some people start early, like especially in the federal government.
Yes.
You start early, like right out of
Yeah,
school, so
yeah.
you have the time in service, and you're just waiting on that age factor. And then this happens, you're like, wait a minute, this
Girl,
totally
you
disrupt my
telling my
plans.
story.
And I'm like, you don't have to just take it and wait and don't look at your account like
Right.
some people are being told. No, let's diversify. Leave some still in the market if you want to, but put something where you don't lose at all and it still grows.
Right.
And you protect that nest egg. So you're like, okay, at least let me adjust my plan, but I don't have to totally like scrap it and go back to work and plan like I got to be in here another 10 years.
That's right.
To be okay, because people don't get that, because a lot of things that we had this conversation
Absolutely.
when we met
Yeah.
is that people don't understand like your Social Security can be affected.
Yes.
Yes.
Like if there is a formula out there related to provisional income, if you have so much tax deferred during retirement that you're going to be living off of, like pension,
Yep.
TSP, 401k, 403b, something like that, it can affect how much of your Social Security benefit is taxed. Even though states like Virginia, I think Virginia, DC, Maryland don't tax Social Security, federal government does.
yeah.
And so it tells you that percentage of what you may be exposed to. So it's like I'm trying to make sure we get that education and financial literacy out there on that.
And that was a big eye opener for when we had our conversation, because it's like, you're not really getting the Social Security. You know,
Correct.
all that time that you put in to, perhaps receive that, you're not getting it.
Correct. And
Because
people
of all
just
that.
don't
Yeah,
know
so
it.
that was-
Yeah.
I've run
huge.
into so many people
Yeah.
who don't even know that your Social Security benefit can be taxed if it's a certain limit, a number that you're getting,
Right.
which is called provisional income.
Right.
So I'm like, well, hey, that's why we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm trying to put together a class. So I want to do a plug.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to do a
definitely,
plug
definitely.
and I'm looking at I know it's supposed to look at the camera, but I want to look at people. And in the comments on the Facebook Live, or you can comment later. Please just make sure what date, time, because I'm trying to put together a class to give more information.
That's huge.
Educate people on their retirement, how to read your statements. What does that mean? How do I need to plan? What are my elements? Because
Right.
especially federal government employees, you have that three-legged stool. Majority of people who are in the FERS, you have your pension, Social Security, and TSP.
Right.
How do I need to balance that out? And how can I protect it? And for my people who are 59 and a half and older, Uncle Sam throws you a bone. So this is a great time to take advantage of that when you won't be hit so much as taxed. And also I like showing my clients how you can have more tax-free income coming in when you retire, because it's possible, but people just aren't educated and just don't know. So I want to make sure people do.
So in terms of talking about that class, and specifically making one targeted for federal employees.
Yes.
There are so many things that are tied into federal government employees. We have great benefits.
Yes.
But understanding them and maximizing and optimizing is how you understand. From the life insurance, people don't even understand like the breakdown of it, and it only comes around every 10 years or so.
Exactly, and it diminishes.
Yes.
After you get 65 and older, it starts to decrease.
Yeah,
Depending
yeah.
upon what tracking plan you're on.
Yeah.
It's those type of things that people
Yeah.
don't know, because it's not taught to the federal government employees until, guess what? You're like 6 months or a year out from retirement.
From retirement, when it's not even the point where you can make any adjustments. It's you are where you are.
Right.
And it's like run the numbers. And I have seen people go in for retirement planning and for their estimate, and they're like, oh, I need to work another 6 years,
Correct.
or I need to work another 5 years. That has to be the most hurting and heart-wrenching thing that you ever could do.
Correct.
And people always talk about me being a planner. Yeah, I'm
You
a
have to
planner.
be.
Yeah.
You have to be. And that's the thing about too. And that's why I said I'm so passionate about this, because
Yeah.
you need to know you've put in the time. You've worked hard and everything like that. So you shouldn't have to tag more time on, because you weren't taught and shown how you
Exactly.
need to take full advantage of your retirement.
Exactly. And then, so in terms of the classes, so we want everybody to make sure that they drop information into the feed. We're talking about like 2 weeks from now,
Correct.
or 3 weeks at the maximum of fitting in a class, so that she lives in Timbuktu. So we're gonna have her to come over on this side so that we can do a session. And there will be a portion that focuses on federal employees, but there also will be basically her basis of everyone.
Correct.
So we just started talking about this, but it's not a game. Today
not.
was a huge dip.
It should be a wake-up call.
Yes, it should definitely be a wake-up call. And for those who need to bounce back, you need to start like right now.
Correct.
Right now.
Correct. Correct. Yes.
So anything else to add?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Because I don't want to take over too much time for other people.
Good. No, you have done a great job. So what we
Always
want to
great
do
information.
is,
Thank you, thank
yes. So drop your information in the feed, and we are going to go to commercial. So we'll be right back.
Are you interested in real estate investing but not quite sure where to get started? Do you want to get the know-hows on creating ongoing passive income using the buy and hold strategy? Hi, I'm Janice Bowles, licensed realtor and co-founder of B Premier Ventures, a real estate development and consulting firm where we buy and beautify distressed real estate, renovate it, and resell for profit. With over 15 years of investing experience, B Premier has extensive knowledge in rural land development, fix and flips, and rental acquisitions. B Premier's current portfolio consists of properties within Florida and Virginia. Our firm's services includes investor project consulting, project management, and group coaching. For more information, visit our website at bpremierventures.com and schedule a complimentary discovery session, or subscribe to our email list. It's free. Follow me on Instagram at Janice Bowles for additional real estate investing tips. B Premier Ventures, we buy and beautify. Are you interested in real estate investing but not quite sure where to get started? Do you want to get the know-hows on creating ongoing passive income using the buy and hold strategy? Hi, I'm Janice Bowles, licensed realtor and co-founder of B Premier Ventures, a real estate development and consulting firm where we buy and beautify distressed real estate, renovate it, and resell for profit. With over 15 years of investing experience, B Premier has extensive knowledge in rural land development, fix and flips, and rental acquisitions. B Premier's current portfolio consists of properties within Florida and Virginia. Our firm's services includes investor project consulting, project management, and group coaching. For more information, visit our website at bpremierventures.com and schedule a complimentary discovery session or subscribe to our email list. It's free. Follow me on Instagram at Janice Bowles for additional real estate investing tips. B Premier Ventures, we buy and beautify.
Welcome back to the show. So we also have for you, Janice has a very special segment. So I will let her introduce her guest. She's via Skype, but the whole finding funding, we are in for a special treat for us. So Janice, you want to go ahead and do your intro?
Thank you so much. So tonight we're really excited, definitely, jumpstarting our Women's History Month. So it's great that I have a young lady on that's going to be sharing some information regarding real estate funding. And her name is Alexandria, and she's with Share States. And she's going to talk to us about funding. If you're interested in starting, getting into real estate investing, the different types of programs that they have available for starting in real estate investing, and also seasoned investors who can perhaps utilize their services as well. So I'm really excited. Alexandria, if you can hear me, welcome.
Yes. Yep, I can hear you guys.
Great.
Perfect. If you can go ahead and start, give an introductory of yourself and your company, what you actually do in the company, and then we can kind of go into absolutely, the different types of funding available to potential real estate investors and seasoned real estate investors.
Sure. First of all, thank you guys for having me. I work with Share States, so we're a direct lender for real estate investors. We are a little different than a conventional program in that we do not deal with anything owner-occupied or owner-user. We're also a light doc program, so as opposed to going to a traditional bank or a traditional lender, they're going to ask what your income verification is, what your W-2s look like, what your tax returns look like. Our program is much more streamlined to work solely with investors. So people who are doing this quasi-professionally or professionally or really looking to get started in it and really using this as a revenue driver for themselves and eliminating a lot of the red tape and a lot of the hassle that kind of detracts people from going into this business and getting involved with banks. Two of the biggest areas that we see investment coming in or people kind of getting into this space are twofold. One of those is what you see very much on TLC and HGTV. It's buying a property or acquiring a property in some capacity at auction, or just seeing something and getting it for a really great deal, investing a certain amount of money into that property and then flipping it. So that program is a fix and flip program. The other way that we're seeing people get into this space is turnkey properties. So buying single families, multifamilies, mixed use properties, etc., and holding on to those. So where they're fully rented, they're generating revenue every month. You're having an existing mortgage on them, but you just want to have something to be able to have real stake in. So it's not a property you're looking to flip, you're looking to maintain it as a long-term investment. So for the first property or the first type of property we work with, those fix and flips, our objective is to allow people to help them fund, in other words, acquire those properties, and also fund that rehab and those renovation costs. Traditional banks can be a little bit hedging on this process. They really want to see people who have done this sort of thing before. They really want to know, what folks have a game plan for. They're very conservative. Because there is a potential for things to go wrong. You hear horror stories, or you see it on, popular TV shows where there's issues with plumbing that come up, or a contractor makes a mistake, etc. For us, we don't have those same sort of requirements. We look at that as something that is absolutely an opportunity. Real estate is something where people are always going to need somewhere to live. So we look at the property based on what the after repair value may be, the area that it's in, and underwrite the property that way. And so we're able to do those on a variety of assets. So single families, multis, mixed use. These are short-term loans, 12 months to get in, get out, sell the property if you're the investor, and get on to the next project. By contrast, the long-term investment program, the term loans, those are projects that there is no rehab done. There's either been rehab that's already completed, or, maybe it's just, good kind of a bones property. People have been in there a long time, and somebody's just wants to move on. And those are properties that we require a certain DSCR clearance in order to make sure that the debt service coverage ratio on that is a certain percentage. So you as the owner are generating a certain amount every month. Those are a traditional loan that is going to be somewhere from 45 to 60 days with a traditional lender. With those as well, with a traditional lender, you're looking at paying principal and interest right off the bat. For us, we really gear that program to investors as well. So even though it is a long-term program, there's different tiers within that program that allow for a period of time the purchaser of that property, the investor, to be able to purchase that and pay interest only for a certain period of time. So their monthly payment is going to be less than it would be at some sort of conventional lender. The benefit of that for people who are looking to either break into this is that there's not a ton of work. It's not as labor intensive as maybe a fix or a flip. It gives you a little bit more cash flow by doing an interest-only payment. So if you're looking to maybe save for your next acquisition, or looking to kind of get on your feet and see if this is something that really works for you, and real estate is a foray you want to explore, it makes a lot of sense for somebody to go into our program where you have a little bit more flexibility as opposed to paying more with a conventional lender. So really our objectives are to streamline the processes, not have the same sort of leveraging requirements as a bank had. They tend to be a little bit more conservative than we are, and really kind of help people use this as a means to make money. People that go into this are investors. We're not interested in helping necessarily someone acquire their first home. We're helping somebody build out their real estate portfolio and make this, again, as I said in the beginning, either they're doing something as quasi-professionally or as their business. And that's kind of how we set ourselves apart from maybe the more traditional ways that people are used to getting into real estate and purchasing properties and having some investments.
And Alexandria, thank you so much for all the information. Actually, that's how you and we did business a few months back.
That's correct.
I actually met you last summer at a real estate investing expo in New Jersey. And
That's right.
I stopped at your table and I did some research. I had different companies that I had picked up information on because
That's smart.
Yeah, so I did some comparison about it. And one of the things that I really liked about your company, first and foremost, because of the fact of the streamlining, and the process was pretty easy. Yes, I could have went to a conventional bank and whatnot, and perhaps pull the equity out of the property that we did the business with. But your company was just the process was very easy. And like you said, geared towards investors and whatnot, and it set me up for whereas I was able to pull this money out My property is already a rental property to begin with. You know, my tenants are covering, you know, the mortgage because I own the property outright, but it's giving me a pool of monies to go ahead and, you know, do other projects and whatnot, and still, you know, be in a good position. So definitely the turn key is very advantageous, in addition to the, you know, the fix and flip. And if you could just share a little bit about, you know, I know a lot of people, for those who may not be, you know, too aware, with the traditional banks, the interest rates are really great right about now. But of course, with investments, properties, and what have you, the interest rates are going to be slightly higher because of the fact that it's streamlined.
Correct.
Am I correct to say that?
Correct. Right. So traditionally with lender, or especially now, you know, the Fed is cutting rates. Traditional interest rates are very low. I think sometimes people think private money and get scared by sticker prices. Historically, this space has had some really astronomical numbers. In point of fact, over the last, I would say maybe 3 or 4 years, those are really coming down. Even if you were to go, however, to, you know, a Bank of America or Chase or Wells Fargo, investment properties are looked at a little bit differently. So there is a different rate calculation, you know, given the fact that you're not going to be living there. It is an investment. Some lenders as well, if you're looking at anything more than a single family, there's a rate hit. If you're looking certainly at a property with a commercial component, there is a rate hit as well. For us, we are some of the most competitive in the industry. Again, knowing that there is a higher rate for the ease of getting in and out of projects quickly. Where we really see those higher rates, we start at 7.99 on the bridge loan. So those are the fix and flips. We really aren't seeing anything unless it's some significant heavy rehab going above 9.5. Those are interest only on the rehab component of those loans, however. So if there is a project where somebody is putting up, you know, $50,000 or $100,000 in the project, you're only paying on that rehab. That is quite competitive, even from where it was several years ago, where those rates were starting at 10% across the industry. So still quite low when all things are considered. Where we're really seeing people take advantage, especially now in this current kind of fluctuating climate, is the term loan. Those are actually quite competitive, believe it or not, with the traditional lenders. I know that I was speaking to a family member, and they were doing, granted it was slightly different, they were, you know, purchasing a primary residence for themselves, and they were somewhere around you know, a 3.8, but in the process they were also looking to do some, you know, refinancing with that same bank as part of a bundle package on getting a mortgage, and on their investment portion of that they were going somewhere around a, you know, 4.6, 4.5, which is a competitive rate for a more significant investment property in the conventional space. We're seeing those same numbers coming back. You know, I quoted somebody at 4.75 yesterday, or excuse me, earlier today and last week. You know, 4.8, 4.9 interest only over, you know, those 5, 7, or 10-year tiers with us. So those rates again are even getting much more close to those conventional loan spaces. So one of, I think, the stigmas of private money is that it's going to be expensive. Over these last couple of years, and especially the last couple of months with us, that's not necessarily the case anymore. It will be more. I'm not pretending that it won't be. But there is sort of a trade-off in that, you know, there is no W-2s, no income verification, and the overall process is a lot quicker than going with something that is, you know, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac backed mortgage.
Absolutely. So much great information. We just can't thank you enough for sharing with us this evening with regards to, you know, for those who might be, you know, want to get in on the real estate investing. Alexandria, I have a quick question to ask you. Sure. I did a little research and I cited some information from a article that I read. It was dated 2019, but it talked about the history of women in real estate investing and how we are viewed as accidental landlords and landladies, and not, you know, looked upon as real, true professionals when we get into investing. They kind of look at us as, we know, we're just, you know, teetering along, and we're not know too much about what we're doing. Tell me,
Right.
are you seeing an increase, or have you seen an increase with women investors, perhaps using your services with Share States?
Yeah, I think that that's accurate. I think that, I mean, look, across society, right, unfortunately, generally speaking, um, statistics are out there that women make less money than men, right? So when you extrapolate that out, what ends up happening is that as a borrower, when you're going to a conventional bank, they're seeing less money, potentially maybe for the same job, maybe not, but ultimately less money on that W-2 every year. They're seeing therefore less money that's potentially been saved by female borrowers versus male borrowers, just as a part of that system, right? So what we're seeing in spaces like ours, that there is no income verification. We're looking at great credit ratings. We're looking at money for down payments or closing costs, and a couple of months if it's payments if it's a refinance. Even with first timers who don't really have a ton of experience, we're working with them. We're seeing that it's much more accessible to women to become investors and to really get into real estate, because some of that intrinsic barrier of them being able to have enough for a down payment to put down for a conventional mortgage, have that pay stub that supports what a government-backed loan might need or might require on paper, is very different than ours. By not looking at that, you sort of take away a lot of that red tape, and it allows a lot more access. So I am seeing a lot more people coming to me who either women are becoming partners on operating agreements and part of the entities that are doing this, or are doing it very much on their own. So I am seeing more in this space than colleagues that maybe are working with, as a mortgage banker or individual mortgage brokers. We are seeing more women-driven and women-led investment. And I think that that's, a really good thing. It's one of the happy byproducts of what we do. Obviously, we want to help investors, but as a woman, it is really nice to see in an industry, both finance and real estate investment, that have been historically dominated by men, to be a part of a company and sort of a niche product that opens that opportunity for women to really get involved and not become accidental landlords, as you said, but more purposeful landlords, and really setting that stage for the next generation.
Great, wonderful, wonderful. Again, Alexandra, we just thank you so much for all the information and insight. Can you give your information as to how folks can get in contact with you for your services and things and whatnot, please?
Yeah, for sure. The best number to always reach me is, in the office, for sure, for starters. My number at the office, we are based in New York, although we are a national lender. So don't be scared by the 212 number. But it is 212-201-0750, extension 8170. Alternatively, I am a millennial. I am perpetually glued to my cell phone, like so many of my peers. So my cell phone number is 347-561-8638. Again, that's 347-561-8638. So I'm always available on either of those two numbers to kind of chat with anybody, just give information, see if the program's the right fit for them, and hopefully start working with them for sure.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. The information was so valuable. I know we're transitioning out, but one of the things that you mentioned was about the possibility of pooling money together, and that's one of the things that Janice and I have talked about, and we are actually getting ready to put something in place. So definitely we'll be touching bases with you about the information as we get deeper into the process.
Outstanding.
So thank you so much. The information was so valuable. So I appreciate you joining, and hopefully it will not be the last time.
I hope not. And thank you guys so much for having me. I think things like this are really important to be able to really educate people in general, but specifically women, as you said, Janice, it's, not something I think that is as accessible to women, maybe necessarily as men. So it's nice to see two women who have the experience who really take it to the next level. So I'm really flattered and very honored to be here. So thank you guys very much for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. You have a nice night.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Have
All
a great one.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye. A wealth of information,
Yes.
just nugget after nugget after nugget. It's so in alignment what we're talking about. From the point of view and talking about stocks, she went there. And she talked about today and the frenzy, not only from that, but from the virus as well.
Correct.
And then everything, you already used her, so you knew that she, her credentials and everything. But it sparked my ears when she's talked about women and pooling the money together,
go.
because
Right. Yeah.
that's definitely like the avenue that we're going in, and we're so serious about this. So some people may have gotten scared a little bit when she said like the larger dollar amounts. So that's where it comes into it, where pooling your money together
That's right.
will help
Exactly.
you to quickly get a piece of property, a piece of investment, and then you'll understand and see how it works.
Yeah.
I have so many, the ladies that I hung out with this weekend at the Black Girls Rock, all of them are investors.
Wow.
So when they're sitting around, you can just imagine me in there just eating everything up. They're talking about their properties, talking about how much money they made from it, how much money they're flipping, taking something, turning it into strictly an Airbnb, and all of the various things. So telling y'all better wake up and
Correct.
figure out like all of the different ways out here where we can take our money. If you have it individually by yourself, that's great.
Right.
Make sure that you're investing it and doing what you need to do. If you don't have that much and you're trying to work through it, come with us on this savings
Exactly.
plan, and also a direct way where you're going to be able to pool your money in. So it'll be the experiences from everyone who's come together and be able to have you a piece of property.
There you
So
go.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
So
Great
so
information.
we have some more time. So it's a couple more myths that I wanted to go into.
Okay. I love it.
one of them was women are more risk adverse, and we started talking about that briefly as it went into one of the questions. But let's
Yeah.
talk about that a little bit from your experience. How do you feel? And then you can take it from the experience of you and your husband. Like you all are in a business together, but you all have two totally different personalities when it comes to investing. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends because you have a lot of women who are out there, like you say, in the real estate game and everything like that. And some are taking risks, doing their thing and
Right.
everything like that. And also, you have women who are working on Wall Street.
Yes.
So let's not ignore that
Right.
because the women are there representing. It's just, the stereotype and the attention when it comes to media,
Right.
it's mainly to the males. It's
Yeah.
like
Right.
when you're looking at financial women who are leaders when it comes to trading and stocks and everything, they're not given their credit because there are some women who get out there and can go as hard
Exactly.
as the men
Exactly.
and more competitive. That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying. I think that comes from thinking women don't have that competitive nature.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
And I
No.
think it's
No.
also like some people when they get to a point of terms of like that millionaire status,
Yes.
they're kind of reserved in terms of what they're doing. They don't have a need to be all flamboyant in
Correct.
terms of it. And from studies, men do not start emailing and texting me, but from studies, because of men's ego, that's what causes them to be more outward with it, and that's why we know more
more
about
boastful.
it. But
Yep.
when you do the studies and realize that there are so many women who are underlooked, who are not even seen, but they are balling.
Exactly.
I
Yes.
know
Your
you ain't want me
famous
saying that word
words.
this time, right?
She loves that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on you and seeing the comparison between you and your husband?
Everything that you've discussed, it emulates us. Like I've always shared with you guys, I am so much more reserved, and I put so much thought process
Right,
into what we're
right.
doing, and very strategic. Whereas for him, it's kind of on a whim. And he's ready right then and there, and
Right.
he makes the move very quick.
Right.
And we balance each other out, but in the initial aspect when we first got started, it was very difficult for me to adjust to him with his tenacity of just being so ready right then and there. Now, in the midst of that, in the beginning, there were some mistakes made. Did I want to say I told you so?
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah, I did. I said it.
Yeah.
But we balance each other out because of the fact of his strengths in those aspects probably we wouldn't be where we are today.
Exactly.
There you
You know,
go.
Exactly.
so I can appreciate that,
Looking back on it now.
looking back on it now.
Right.
That's awesome.
But for how we are now, he takes definitely much more time to let me put my point of view in place, and he considers it even more so than from the beginning. Right now we don't make any moves unless we both are jointly in agreement, except for that Tesla stuff. But it just it's a time thing. It's a timing thing, and you have to. Whereas I will come in and bring out all the different points and avenues, and maybe perhaps the cons and whatnot, where he may not think about it right then and there. We go about that, and it helps. So it's much better now, but
You had to get there.
it had to get there. It had to get there. It
Yeah.
had to get there.
Yeah.
So.
No, that makes perfect sense. So I have one more, but before I do that, let me shout out all the people who are on the line. And I'm going to just go from a list, but it's a mixture of men also. So double shout out to the men,
Yeah.
because it was women all over the agenda. But for you to tune in and support us, because I know you get some valuable information as well. We appreciate that. So
That's
to
great.
my
Yeah.
brother, Jason Hodge, Marcella Stretch, Redeemer Rick, Colette Reverend Rice, I can't call her Colette, Jennifer Jones Bryant, Brenda Sands, Tangela Collins Myers, Felicia McCord, John Watkins, Shayla Price. Hey, Shayla! Ida Jackson, Ida Crawford, Sandra Stahlhacker, Ruth Hatkins, Miss Peggy, Ladrine Campbell, that's my godmother. Hey, godmommy. Robert Hicks and Kamari Sly. Hey, Kamari. So big shout out. Thank you all for tuning in. And anyone else that I missed, I apologize. I'll go back. I go through the feed and I respond to all of the questions and all of the comments. So does the other co-host.
Yes.
So this is the last one that I have. So it is women lack confidence about money. Right.
That slipped out real quick, huh?
Total myth.
No.
And again, I think these myths stem from back in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
When men were
Absolutely.
working and women were at home, and women just took care of the household and just accepted the extra whatever the man didn't do. But that is totally not the way that it is today. Women are so in charge in terms of their finances. Women are in finances in the federal government in terms of like the percentage that it was in the past. My
Exactly.
daughter is in finances. You're in finances.
Exactly.
So many women are in finances as I even go through it. But the whole thing of lack confidence.
And I think that's once again, it's one of the things that guys are more outwardly like boastful and women aren't.
Yeah.
So it's a perception thing.
Yeah.
It's not
A
reality.
reality.
But it's perception.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And in terms of stats, 52% of women in a relationship are the ones managing the money and making moves for their household.
I can
Yeah.
vouch for
Yeah,
that.
I
That's
agree
when I
to
see
that.
people.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I think we talked about this during the relationship shows as well. Your pluses and minuses when you're in a relationship with somebody, right?
Yep.
So if you are the one who's good with money and balancing and staying within the realm, then you be that person. If you know that you're not good and the other person is that way, then you do it. But regardless of whoever is the best person, you all must make sure that you do it together.
Yes.
Never be in
Definitely.
a situation where you don't know what's going on. Like
Right.
I actually know somebody who husband handled the bills. See these men, it's like I'm playing. But husband handled the bills. And she was just giving him his portion. She worked. At the end of the day, when they came together, their house was getting ready to be foreclosed.
Wow.
And I'm like, how do you get to that point? And I can't ask and question and pass judgment to her. But I'm saying to myself, because just like you always had that Janice Bowles and I had that Ladrienne House.
That's right.
Like it could never be that way.
That's
So
right.
regardless of who is that person who handles it, make sure that you're involved and you're engaged and you know what is going on. Even if it's looking at the bills or when the mail comes, just open them. Just check and see what's going on.
Exactly.
I mean, we have monthly meetings.
Yes.
You know, with regards
That's
to.
very important.
Yes.
I mean, Thomas, he doesn't. You know, I go through all the mail and I handle the finances. And you know, he's retired now, but even prior to that, it's always monthly meetings. You know, you got to be involved.
Especially all the money that y'all had borrowed and you had to your plan. I always mess with Janice about borrowing. I couldn't let it go tonight without
Well,
slipping
you
it through.
gotta manage all of that. You have to manage it.
But ladies, like any final words, and please provide everyone with your information. I love Money Making Mondays. I am so serious. I love all of the valuable information from you all. It just puts me at a space of, I know, like, to be financially okay as I'm going through. I have to watch my wording because I use special words that they don't like me to use quite yet. And they're aggressive words that I use. And then
Creating generational wealth.
like rich, they don't want me to use that quite well. So but please, any last minute comments as you're going through, and provide your social media and how people can get in contact with you.
Yeah, the only thing I want to say is also, I'm trying to put together the class for everyone, but I'm also can do one-on-ones if people are more comfortable.
Yes.
So definitely, first name Sacagawea Fanning. I'll put it in the comments, but that's my Facebook information, also Instagram, and I'll put my cell phone. Cell phone is 706-717-9590. Yes, I live in Northern Virginia, but I have a Georgia number because I've had it for almost 20 years, so I'm not gonna change it now. But definitely contact me if you have any questions. Never feel embarrassed. That's the main thing when it comes to money, and you want to make sure you're protecting yourself. So I love sitting down with people, listening. Let's put a blueprint together and get you good. So
You guys can reach me and follow me on my Instagram journey with the properties that I'm fixing and flipping and my rentals and whatnot, rehabbing those. I'm on Instagram as Janice Bowles. I'm a licensed realtor as well. My brokerage, CTI Real Estate, we're licensed in Virginia and Maryland. So we can assist you all with your, home buying, for investment properties, first-time home buyers, whatever the situation is. But you can follow me on Instagram, Janice Bowles, Facebook, Janice Bowles. My business page on Facebook is my real estate company, which is B Premier Ventures. And my website is www.bpremierventures.com.
Yeah, so thank you all again for joining. Renee, starting anew. Like, Ronnie, change your name to Veronica Howard. It's my sister, but she used her middle name, and I'd be like, Renee, starting anew. Change your name. But she said she's going to start your class.
Okay,
but
cool. Awesome.
One of the things that I wanted to let you all know, I always give you, the highlights of what's coming up for the next show. So next week, we will be continuing Women Who Wow for the National History Month. And we got my girl Cheryl Wood. So make sure that you tune in. The title of the show is going to be Women Inspiring Nations. And if you know her, you know that she is the international speaker who takes people and makes them international speakers, like your girl and your girl Janice. So both of us had the opportunity to go to Paris and become international speakers last year. So you're in for a treat with that. Make sure you share you share our videos, and make sure you follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, join the group, and also follow our YouTube channel. When I do the replays, I'm trying to get you all to do replays on the YouTube channel so we can get our numbers up from that mechanism. But thank you all again so much. You'll see the information on the screen, but please make sure that you follow those, and we'll be soon having another in-studio audience. We haven't done that for a while. Some renovations are going on here, but look out for that. So again, thank you all so very much. Oh, and last thing, make sure you all go on Mount Enos page. We're trying to make that video go extremely even more viral than it's already gone. Make sure that you go the wash your hands video. Make sure you go like that, follow it, feed it, do whatever you need to do in terms of making sure that it represents in terms of the number. But that's it. So thank you all for joining as always, and I'll see you all next week.